Rolling into the 6 o'clock hour in rapid fire. Sean Stiers, Vince D'Addario, Jesse Stiers, all in the house on this Freaky Friday edition of Budweiser's Weekday Sports Beat with IrishBreakdown.com.
Does that mean we have to swap bodies?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we did. I think we did at some point. I don't know. Does your back hurt?
I know. Can I all of a sudden bench, 200 pounds?
Jesse in his broad chest.
Yes.
Aiden O'Neill, defensive end from New Jersey, and wonderful Champ Mons, both committed to Notre Dame today. We talked about that in the first hour of the show. If you missed that, you can always go to the podcast platform, wherever you get your podcasts, and find Irish Breakdown. You can do that. And, of course, we're getting into rapid fire right now. Ooh. And the new place to find rapid fire on the YouTube side, if you so choose to watch, is Sports Radio WSBT's YouTube channel. So you can go there after the fact and find rapid fire if you want to just selectively watch/listen to that. That's on the podcasts as well. But if you want the YouTube side, that's where you can find it. Sports Radio WSBT's YouTube channel. Okay. Aneyas Williams has a one-word answer for what Notre Dame's biggest challenge is in the upcoming 2026 football season.
That'd be one-word answer, just ourselves. I think there's nothing in the way of this team besides ourselves. We just got to put our head down and work. We got a long way to go.
So that is Aneyas Williams, and that, Vince, is blank.
It cut out. I didn't hear what the one word was.
Ourselves.
Got it. Okay. I think he's absolutely right, because they're talking about leave no doubt and all of these different things. Like, Marcus Freeman's been preaching this ever since December, whatever it was, when they didn't get into the playoff. Like, it's on us. If we don't lose one of those games, we're in. So I think that's a great word. They're not looking to blame. They're looking to, hey, this is on us. And if we don't get in, it's on us. So I love it. Ourselves. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm going to go, that is ownership, in my opinion. And I think that they have owned their mistakes in the past, and they're going to own their mistakes going forward. And if they want to accomplish what they want to accomplish this season, I think they know the talent is there. I think they know the coaching staff is there. I think they know that the depth is there. And so is really a lot of the continuity. I know you've added some pieces, but this is a group that has kind of been together, throughout the stages of the last couple seasons. So I love that they're taking the ownership, because I think that's the hardest thing to do in the face of adversity. The easy thing to do is say, well, it went wrong because of this and this and this. But having that ability up front before even any games are played to say it is on us and only us is the ultimate sign of ownership.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best way to put it. They're taking responsibility for what happened last year. They're not pointing the fingers at anybody else, like you guys kind of alluded to, like the fact that it was all about leave no doubt from day one, and it's on them now to, whatever happens in 26, it's on them. Like when the Bussin' with the Boys were here, they asked Marcus Freeman about missing the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that it came down to, look, it wasn't about the selection committee. It was about, we lost 2 games. If we don't lose 2 games, we're in the playoffs. And they've completely taken responsibility for that. And as Jesse said, ownership for that. And I think it's obviously the perfect way to go. And they've gone about their business ever since then. So we'll see how it all pans out. Paulo, Jesse, wants to know if he missed the whiteboard, by the way.
No whiteboard on this fine Friday. Nothing really to whiteboard. We're in the dog days of the offseason. The spring game is over. If you got something that you want whiteboarded, I'm more than willing to take suggestions. But this is the dog days of content.
We've got some different things we're going to be doing this summer. I mean, it feels like, you could put just about anything you want on a whiteboard. Now,
sure could.
you might upset those radio listeners if you're talking about whiteboard.
Got to be able to simulcast this thing,
Pointing out
Jesse.
visuals. That's right.
Yeah. Got to be very descriptive. You got to bring your color commentary
Right.
in.
You got to be a play-by-play announcer.
Right, exactly.
To do that. Because it feels
My
like
newly acquired skill.
I think it's been, as Facilitate says, it's in-season stuff. It's probably been since like November that we've seen a whiteboard on this show, I would imagine. So ESPN has a list of under-the-radar players for every team in the top 25. And I think this goes back to their way too early top 25 that they're doing. So, like, this is not an official top 25, just so everybody knows. But safety Tay Johnson is their under-the-radar player for Notre Dame. Here's what they have to say. The redshirt sophomore from Fort Wayne isn't going by Tay anymore, so it's time to learn his full name. You'll be hearing it often. Brauntae Johnson, rather. Johnson had a strong season as a redshirt freshman, but it happened quietly as he was in the secondary with cornerback Leonard Moore, who drew the national spotlight. Johnson won't be a secret anymore. He has the potential to be one of the best safeties in the country this fall. Kind of goes through some of his stats. They say he makes game-changing plays and has the ability to disrupt passing lanes. He also returned a block punt for a touchdown against Texas A&M and had a pick six in the first quarter against Pitt. So, my first question. How did we miss the memo that Johnson doesn't want to go by Tay anymore?
When I read that quote, the first thing I did was look down to see who wrote it. Because I was like,
it was Heather Dinich. It was Heather Dinich.
And I will say I generally trust what Heather Dinich has to say because she's usually on the money.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of conversation she's having, but that was not shared with the beat media. That's for sure, because I have never heard him go by his full name. It's either Tay or Tay, by the way.
Right.
The double
Marcus
Tay.
Freeman usually calls him Tay.
Correct. So this is interesting to me.
Jesse?
Yeah, I think that so there's a couple layers to this question, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to apologize because there's someone else that covers Notre Dame football, does a similar job that we do, that I like to make fun of a lot, and I made fun of him because of this reason. And I said, no one calls him by his legal government name. What are you doing? But I guess he got the memo before the rest of us did. So I owe that person an apology.
No, you don't.
Doesn't have to happen very often, but I owe them an apology.
Maybe that's why he was staring you down last week. He knew you had been ripping on him for calling him, for saying, Brauntae. I don't know.
Maybe just he and Heather went out to dinner one night and just decided, like, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to just throw this out there and make everybody else look bad. I don't know.
So we didn't get the memo. He obviously did. Moving on. I don't think it helps that, like, no one else, even his head coach, calls him that. Like, I've never heard Marcus Freeman call him that before.
I know. No. Like, when does this start? Like, I'm surprised because they did that name thing, and I realized, Brauntae Johnson was in the name thing.
Don't fall into the trap.
He did say Brauntae. Right? Like, he did say Brauntae.
Did he? Okay.
In the pronunciation video. I think it was the second one. But like, it feels like this needs to be social media official.
Confirmed
by him and only by him.
Like, he needs to make his video and say, "Hey fans, call me Brauntae," if that's what he wants to be called. Right?
Yes. I
agree. What we had heard like a year ago was he didn't like to be called Brauntae and he was called Tay instead. So
we're just here to serve. I mean, we're here to do what he wants us to do, not what I'm being told to do by people that aren't here every day, Sean. Like, that's the thing for me. I don't know.
I know she was there. Like, she showed up at Notre Dame during the spring and did a few different articles, and because like that's where the whole Leonard Moore, where he started talking about the revenge tour and all that kind of stuff. It was in the Dinich article. So.
And again, I don't want to denigrate anything that she's saying because, like I said,
I don't either.
I like her as an analyst. I like what
Yeah.
because she's usually pretty level-headed about stuff.
Right.
There's
Right.
a lot of
Here's a
analysts out
reporter,
there,
like sticks to
Yeah.
the facts and
Yes.
not going to go out on too many limbs.
and
So,
she's usually spot on with what the committee wants to do. That
True,
kind of
too.
stuff. So
sourced very well.
I trust her, just not currently.
Just not on this.
It's not on this.
I've got two things. One of them, I think this is my hypothesis.
Okay.
I follow Brauntae Johnson on Instagram.
Okay.
And he's doing a lot of youth camps this summer. He's doing a lot more like in the community outreach type stuff. So I don't know if maybe that's a factor, right? Like, I don't know if he wants the public and the kids, referring to him as Tay-Tay. Like, I don't know if that has something to do with it. Just being more kind of cleaned up as he goes out into the community and does these camps and different things. So that's my hypothesis. And I don't want to segue too much, but you were talking about how professional Heather Dinich is. Rick Sutcliffe, when he does baseball games for the Cubs, is the most unprofessional sports broadcaster I have ever heard. He is like actively
using any chance that he can to throw shade on baseball, guys. So.
No, it's just he actively is cheering.
Not a journalist.
Yeah, but he's like actively
Correct.
cheering for certain outcomes throughout the game, and he audibly gets upset and excited, and it's like, come on, there's some professionalism to this at the end of the day. But anyways,
Not if you're a Cubs guy. I mean, do you not listen to the radio broadcasts? Like, those guys are super homer.
Did you ever listen to Ron Santos?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
Like, super homer.
I don't
Have
agree.
you ever listened to Ryan Harris? Super homer.
And like, listen to an NFL broadcast. Like, those guys are so OTT these days. But like, that's what ownership wants. They want
Exactly.
cheerleaders on the air. They want more of that. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but that's what ownership wants. So that's why you see a lot more of that, especially like on the baseball. Like, that's, like, it's how Steve Stone got exiled from Chicago, is he wasn't cheerleading enough. And it's, how a lot of these guys end up losing their jobs these days is they want them waving their pom-poms on the air.
That's right. He's good enough for the White Sox.
You didn't like Stone?
He was okay. It's kind of pompous. Like, that's kind of how he came off. I don't know. I mean, he was fine.
What a Cy Young.
He was fine. He's fine. Like, he wasn't my favorite guy, but he was fine. Harry Carey needed a straight man, that's for sure.
Harry, why don't you put the bud down?
Yeah, right. He needed a straight man. So, like, he was basically babysitting most of the time, and I appreciate him for that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Harry was, as Chi-Town says as well. Harry was
Also
very,
also very homerish. But, I mean, you said he got exiled. He got exiled to the South Side.
I mean, I'd call that an exile, wouldn't
100%.
Oh, that is a demotion.
They want a new stadium. Have you seen this? Like, what? Why?
So the only thing I care about,
dumpster
if you want a
fire.
new stadium, put it in a new location. Their location is their issue, not the stadium itself.
Now, do you okay, when you used to live here in Indiana and you were going to a Cubs game, for example, you're driving in, whatever. There are many times where I've been driving in, it's like, dang, I wish Wrigley was like right there, because my drive would have been an hour shorter.
Mhm.
Like, that's, you're not fighting the crowds. It's in and out. It's easy access. Yes, it's in
You
a
want to go into Dan Ryan.
horrible part of town, but it's right there off the highway, man. Like, it's
It is.
so easy to get to.
So much easier.
Man.
I mean, from your house, Dad, you could probably make it to guaranteed rate in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Easily.
for sure.
Yeah. Easily.
But it's
They got to figure out the Bears situation before they figure out the White Sox situation.
It's just, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the actual topic.
We
Do
might
you
get
buy
to
or
like
sell
2
Brauntae
questions
Johnson?
today.
Do you buy or sell Brauntae Johnson as Notre Dame's most under the radar player?
Listen, I buy it because it's like names you should know and things like that. Like, for me, if I am not a fan of Notre Dame, but I'm a fan of college football, like, his name is going to pop this year because he's going to be out there making a bunch of plays and he's going to come to the forefront of college football no doubt about it. So I think for that reason, I understand it, so I buy it. For me, it would have, like, the toss-up for me would have been between him and Drake Bowen. Like, I think those are the two guys that I would have been like, you need to pay attention to these guys because they're going to be on the hearts and minds of college football fans.
That's the direction I was leaning actually as well, would be like Drake Bowen. I think when you look at the big picture of this defense, I feel like he's probably, especially, like, I know it's a lot harder when you're talking about national perspective versus local perspective, because we've talked about this a lot. It's hard for us to find under the radar guys
because we talk about everybody.
We talk about everybody on the roster. I feel like Drake Bowen is a little bit more under the radar for me, especially for like his importance to the team. Tate Johnson, very important as well, but I feel like Bowen is a little bit more under the radar.
Sure.
So I agree with pretty much everything you guys are saying. I think at a national level, I buy this. At an internal level, I would be a sell just because of what we saw from Johnson last season and kind of where that leads some expectations going into this season. But where I will diverge a little bit is, instead of Drake Bowen, I think in the same room it's going to be KVA instead. And I don't know. I think that it's hampered a little bit with his injury and not knowing the timetable for when he'll be 100% healthy. But I think that KVA is going to explode onto the scene this season because I think he's going to contribute towards, the edge rushing, getting sacks and that sort of stuff. Like, yes, Drake Bowen leads the defense, but he does all the non-sexy stuff. KVA gets to do all the sexy stuff like rush the passer, make some explosive plays at the line of scrimmage. Drake Bowen is just kind of your steady Eddie, is going to make a lot of the consistent plays, get the defense set up right, be the green dot, that sort of stuff. But the wow plays, you're going to see more of those from KVA, in my opinion.
Here's my pushback. There was a mock draft that had KVA in the first round. Like, I think people know who he is. That's my pushback.
That's fair.
The only reason he'll be under the radar this year is because he missed the spring because of the injury, and we don't know exactly when he'll be back. So he could work his way in. He could be back early, or he could be back, like October. Maybe, and I'm just like throwing that out, just because we don't know the timeline right now. So he could kind of, ramp back up sort of into that, just be, like that kind of throws him under the radar a little bit. Josh says Jalen Sneed.
No. I just say no because I need to see Jalen Sneed become an all-around linebacker. We talked about how he looked good in the blue gold game, best I've ever seen him play. He's still playing behind KVA and Drake Bowen. So he's going to still be a situational guy.
Right.
I don't think he's going to get the national love that I don't even want to say that he deserves. He's just not going to get it because he's not going to be on the field enough.
Right. And is he going to be a true impact guy, or a guy who just fills a role and is pretty good at that role?
Right.
I think that's still a huge question for him going into this season. And it feels like more like a very important role player, but still more a role player than a big impact type guy.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vince hit it, out of the park when he said he's just not an all-around linebacker. He does some things really well, like the linebacker. Let's say there's 5 things that you need to do well. He does like 2 or 3 of them pretty well, and then the rest, it's like he's still kind of lacking in some of those areas. But I that doesn't mean that I don't have the confidence or maybe the enthusiasm that he is going to put it together. Because if he does, then yeah, I would completely agree. Like, if he can finally put it all together, he could be one of the most explosive athletic linebackers in the country.
I agree with that. I agree with that as well. Fill in the blank. Curt Cignetti was recently asked about the cost of Indiana's 2025 national championship roster. His response was, quote, "What I will tell you honestly is our final number was closer to 15 million than 40 million. Now, obviously, it was somewhere in between. And that, guys, is blank."
Go ahead, Jess. You can fire away here because I'm just going to be negative.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be negative as well. I'm going to call this a Cignettiism at the end of it because
I like it. Well done. Ring that bell, Vince. Ring that
Oh,
bell.
I got it. It's right here.
It's just a big old Cignettiism at the end of the day. It's like it's like the best way to put this is like Cignetti demanded for all the attention. He demanded that everyone respect him and that you Google him and you understand how good and successful he is. But then when you start asking him the nitty-gritty questions about how he got it done, he's like, he gives you these vague, non-direct answers. And so it's like, which side do you want, buddy? Because if you want all the fame and attention, people are going to ask you these sort of questions, and you can't come back with, well, it's closer to 15 million than it is to 40 million. It's like he wants to, again, add value to the coaching that was done and not the money that it took in order to get there at the end of the day. So it's like, just pick a side. Be an arrogant a-hole or not be an arrogant a-hole, but stick down that lane and stop trying to play both sides.
I don't understand why coaches are so afraid. Just say the number. Like you're telling us it's in that range. And by the way, like
you won a national championship. What does it matter?
Right. And everyone's spending the money. What difference does it make? People know you're spending the money. Why are you afraid to say it? Because, again, everyone else who is deep in the playoffs and in the semifinals, they're spending that amount of money as well. And by the way, 27.5 million is still closer to 15 than 40, so like there's still a pretty good range that we're talking about. So just come out and say the number. What are you hiding from? You won a freaking championship. Who cares what you spent at this point? Just tell us.
He cares because the more money he spent, he thinks people are going to make it look like he didn't coach it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he cares. Oh, he cares big time. He cares. We didn't spend anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's all about him.
I don't agree with they bought a national championship. Like people trying to knock Indiana and Cignetti, that's like the line that I draw. Because again,
everybody's doing that.
Everyone who's a legit contender is spending north of $20 million.
I mean, do you really think that IU had
somebody else? Yeah, like they're all trying to buy a championship. Like you don't single out Cignetti and
I'm not going to single him out at all. Yeah. No, not at all. He's spending money just like everybody else.
Just don't be afraid to say it. Like I don't understand why these guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's not taboo. Everybody's doing it. Say it. Say it.
Sorry, Jess. What'd you say?
I just don't like. Do you really think that schools like LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Alden, Texas don't have similar or more money than IU? It's more of a knock, I think, on some of these other programs who are probably spending more and couldn't get it done. And Curt Cignetti walks in and turns around one of the not even one of the most historically losing programs of all time in 2 seasons. The only reason that it hurts is because it's Indiana. Like I have jealousy and that's what it comes down to is I'm jealous that IU turned it around faster than Notre Dame did, but that doesn't
I think that's what it comes down to for probably most Notre Dame fans.
Yeah, I mean it's just not a lot of people are going to admit it. I think 2 things can be true. You can be jealous, but you can also recognize that Cignetti is an a-hole most of the time.
Yeah, perfectly said. Can't disagree with that at all. Like 2 things can absolutely be true. It was the most remarkable turnaround in the history of college football, and the guy is a giant a-hole. So, like,
yeah,
there doesn't.
Those 2 things can definitely
really
be true.
Not a lot of gray area there. So, just respect the word. Okay, fill in the blank. It's blank that Buster Olney says Red Sox chief baseball officer Craig Breslow fired manager Alex Cora this week because Breslow wanted the front office to be able to put together the daily game plans and have them followed in the dugout, but Cora would not comply.
It's a major power trip is what it is because, I've kind of come to the conclusion, why even have a manager if you have a GM that's going to act this way? Because if you're Alex Cora, I'd be knocking on the door and say, well, you took Rafael Devers away. You took Xander Bogaerts away. You took Alex Bregman away. You took, I know there's another one out there that they took away. And
well, I think Betts was traded before Breslow, but still, like
you took Mookie Betts away. And so it's like, what do you want from me? You're giving me this crap roster and you're telling me that I need to play this crap roster a certain way, but where I have, value or specialty is I make diamonds out of crap. And so you can't give someone crap and tell them how to manage it. And then, you know what I mean? It's like you can only have both sides. And so if I'm the Red Sox, I don't even know why they hired another manager, or they're going to hire another manager, because it's clear the GM wants one thing, and if you don't do it, you're going to get fired. So it's just a big power trip at the end of the day.
I mean, you can kind of, like shine your metaphors a little bit more. Let's make lemonade out of lemon. So,
okay,
but I agree with what you're saying.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. Is this not the exact script for Moneyball?
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought of, is the GM coming down before the game.
We were all on Brad Pitt's side. We were all on Brad Pitt's side watching that movie.
That's very true. That's very true. It's literally like the whole Scott Hatteberg discussion with Art Howe,
Right. So, and he didn't fire Art Howe, but he manipulated the roster, so Art Howe didn't have a choice.
And that's the dugout manager for years now has essentially become a middle manager.
Yes,
is what he is. It's like, and that's, like there are a lot of Yankees fans, for example, who want Boone fired. Well, none of it is what Boone does not matter, because he's essentially just complying with what he's been handed, because everything now, unfortunately, and this is, I think, what has become, like baseball has become less and less attractive to me, because it's just so it's just like Breslow is a Yale graduate. And I'm not saying, like Ivy League, Yale, bad, whatever, but apparently like he was known as the smartest man in baseball when he was still a pitcher, like that's what journalists were calling him, So like so many of these guys who get to that position are, just all consider themselves like they're the smartest guy in the organization, and everyone should be following that. And like, look at the rosters. Like, it's become like so cookie cutter with like what you're even seeing on rosters now. And, just everything is so numbers driven, and the responsibilities, everything is taken away from the actual guy sitting in the dugout, a guy who played baseball himself, like guys like Alex Cora, all these different guys. And it's so discouraging, because it's one thing for the numbers to mean so much, and we've seen how they've changed it. But when you also look at how it's just impacting how the game is actually run, and I think so many fans blame the guy in the dugout for this, but I like such a high percentage of it just seems to be out of the hands of the guys who actually sit in the dugout on a day-to-day basis.
I think you make a good point, though, because there's a reason why Alex Cora turned down the Phillies job. It's what is going to change. He's going to get all the heat, but he's not going to have as much control as he would like over the day-to-day functions of roster configuration and that sort of stuff. So I'm not surprised, I guess what I'm saying, that he was like, you know what? I'm going to go spend time with my family, because I don't want to deal with this crap right now.
Yeah. Take a nice paid vacation for the next 6 months. He
doesn't need a job.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, the guy won a World Series. Like, what has it been? 6-7 years ago, something like that.
Oh,
what's that, Jess?
I just said you hit everyone with the 6-7.
Oh, I didn't even.
And there's the age divide right there.
Ted Lasso season 4 is going to be released in August. Scale of 1 to 10, your excitement level.
I'm like a 7. Number one, I'm gonna have to spend more money to get Apple TV, so that's a thing. But number 2, it's like, do we really need to reopen this wound? Like, I don't know that him going and coaching the women's team, like, there's opportunity here to make it like the first season, basically, which was the best season. Yeah, which was the best season. We can all agree on that, I think.
Oh, you're right. I think that it got a little bit worse.
Yeah,
the second 2 seasons.
Yeah. So I'm just nervous. It's like, did you stick around the prom a little bit too long, or should you have just left with the mic drop? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just a little bit nervous on this one. Kind of like I'm nervous about Top Gun 3.
Jesse, were you even a Lasso watcher? Like, where are you?
Yes. Oh yeah, I've watched all the Ted Lasso.
Okay.
I do have an Apple TV subscription. So here's where I'm at. I'm at a 6.5 on this one, and the reason why I'm at a 6.5 is I really liked where they left it, and I do agree that the seasons deteriorated a little by little as they continue to go on, but there's just something to kind of leaving a good thing a good thing. Like it was a good show. I've like when it ended, I was like, man, this sucks. I wish that they could have found a way to continue the storyline, but now that it's come and gone, I think I respect it more. And I'm like, man, that was a good show. Let's leave it where it's at. But because of how good it is, I have the confidence that they're not going to squander this opportunity at the same time. And so that's where I'm kind of stuck is like I would have been cool if they left it, but I'm also still excited because I want to see if they can capitalize on how good that they did on the first, go at it.
They made such a big deal about him going home and being with his family and all of these different things, and now he's just going to
saving a marriage.
He's just going to pack a bag and head back overseas. Like
I thought that I know they were filming in Kansas City.
Okay.
Part of the are they back in England where he's coaching, or are they in Kansas City?
I think he's coaching the women's version of the team that he was coaching before. At least in the previews, it's the same color scheme, so I just assume it's the same group.
Okay.
Well, I could be wrong.
At least part of the season takes place in Kansas City, so I guess we'll all find out together. Because that was the thing. It's like season 3 just turned into a little bit too much, like depressed guy and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't nearly as fun
because he was like
first season
jovial and hey, how you guys doing? That was the best part of the Lasso situation. And
he definitely needed the reset because to figure out where they could take the story next. So I'm at least at a 7. I'm enthused. I think it sounds like they're probably in a better place, with where it's going to go now.
I hope so.
So, yeah, me too. All right. Well, we will go ahead and wrap it up with that. A lot of good stuff today. Everybody have a good weekend. Jesse's heading back through town, going to a Cubs game on Sunday. So have a great weekend. Hopefully it warms up. Vince, don't freeze at your soccer game tomorrow morning.
It's going to be rough.
South Bend Cubs baseball is next. Budweiser's weekday sports beat with IrishBreakdown.com.